Your journey can only begin when the self-doubts stop. The first step is harnessing your bravery within. Believing in you is your host, Sean Williams. Hello and good day to you all. My name is Sean, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another weight loss episode of Bravery Within. Believe it or not, we are up to episode 23, if you can believe that. I only started the podcast here about 4.5 months ago, rough there, and we're already up to episode 23 on the weight loss series, which I think is pretty darn cool. I was hoping that I would get to, something of this amount, and I'm approaching in on what some people consider a magic number of 50 episodes. We're getting there, little by little. I'm hoping within the next couple weeks we will have actually hit the mark and then went over it. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for supporting me, supporting the podcast, sending in questions. That has been wonderful. Asking, different recommendations for some of the supplements that I use. It's been fantastic talking to y'all. And even to the folks there that are turning into dad jokes of the day. I mean, that is so awesome. I was utterly shocked in how well you guys actually like the jokes and stuff. I wasn't quite sure if you guys were going to be receptive to it, because I always want to end my podcast and stuff with something positive and something funny. And the only way that I could think to do it was to basically do dad jokes of the day. And you guys are sending those in. That is so awesome. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks so much for catching me on my YouTube page and any place that you're listening to this. I just can't thank you enough. You guys are amazing. Thanks for your support. Continue to tell your family, your friends, your coworkers, colleagues, anybody that you can think of, somebody just out on the street. Just let them know that, hey, you should check out this podcast. This guy's got 3 different types of series on his show and stuff. It's fantastic. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for talking with me, listening to me, inviting me into your house or into your car while you're heading to work or heading home from work. I can't thank you enough for all of that. So getting into today, I thought it would be pretty good there to start off. So what I'm going to do, like I said before, this is episode 23, fat loss versus weight loss. And you guys have heard many, many times, as I've talked in my other podcasts, about me just Thelma and Louising it right off the cliff and just all in. I mean, one day I was having 7,000 to 9,000 calories a day, and then I chopped myself down to 1,200 literally overnight. And I've told you many, many times, I did not do any research. I didn't do any prep work, nothing. It wasn't until that day, January 1st of 2022, when I actually just went through the cupboards, got rid of everything, set myself up there to hopefully win. I wasn't mentally ready. I wasn't physically ready. There was nothing. I just had a moment, said, you know what? I'm done. I need to move on. I need to get my weight down. I need to protect myself a little bit more. I needed to be around for my son, my friends, my family. They still, for some reason, want me around. I haven't quite figured out why, but they do. And I just decided to make the decision at that point. I'm just going to jump off and I'm going to do it. So one thing that I'm really, really proud of, and I wanted to tell you guys in this podcast, that as of today, 19 months into my weight loss journey, I am now down officially 5 pant sizes. I think it's awesome. Thank you very much for the claps. I know you're doing it on the other end there and stuff there. I can hear it there through the modern marvels of electronics. But thank you so very much. I'm down at least 2 shirt sizes, almost. I can wear a third, but it's just not comfortable yet. So really, I'm down almost 3 shirt sizes, and that's all just doing it the way that I'm doing. I'm not really following a program or anything like that. I just basically just kind of made up my own, and I'm sure it's not anything new for some people. I'm sure they've tried it the same way that I've done it. I just happen to get lucky, and it's continuing to work. I still have a long ways to go. I'm figuring I got another 150 pounds somewhere in there that I'd like to take off, that I need to take off there. But I just wanted to let everybody know, I'm not bragging, I'm just letting you know, hey, this works. So it's like, I'm so happy. I'm down over 200 pounds, down 5 pant sizes. My goal is to drop at least another 3 more I'm hoping for. Now, whether I can at my age, I don't know if I can get down that far, but I'm working on it. So my ultimate goal was to drop 8 pant sizes, and I'm well over halfway to hitting my goal. I figure that I probably am not going to hit it within the 2 years that I originally set when I started out last year. But even if it takes me 3 years, I'm still very, very happy about the results that I've gotten. I'm hoping maybe I can do it in 2.5 years. I'm not quite sure. But all I know, it's the journey. It's not the destination. Of course, yeah, we'd all like to be buff and have muscles and have a six-pack. Well, guess what? I'm not going to be that way. But my ultimate goal is just to basically be able to look in the mirror and go, oh, goodness sakes, no more puking. I can't stand it. And change that into, hey, I like who I see in the mirror. I like how far I've come, how much work I put into this. And that'll be fantastic. I'm not looking to be all buff. I'm not going to be hitting the weightlifting circuit or anything like that. But just to be happy with myself when I look in the mirror. I'm not there yet, but I can honestly say I'm happier with who I see in the mirror now than where I started 19 months ago. I've come a long ways, and I know there's some of you out there that have told me you're on your own weight loss journey, and that's fantastic. I'm so proud of you, but I'm not hearing any results. I'm not hearing what anybody's really telling me, how much they've lost or how many pant sizes are down or shirt sizes or any way that you're measuring it. I mean, some of you, a lot of you use a scale. That's fantastic. Tell me how much you're losing. I would love to actually say on my Facebook page, hey, wonderful job. This person's down 30 pounds or this person's down 50 or this person's down 10. It does not matter how much you've lost. The goal is to go in that direction. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You're going to get there. We all have bad days. We all fall off the horse once in a while. The trick is just to make sure that you don't chuck the whole program out the window. That's what I keep hoping for. And you guys are fantastic. You have told me you're starting on your own weight loss journey, but I don't hear any results after that. And it's like, I want to hear, guys. I'm here. I want to be your biggest supporter. I want to, anything to basically, if you want to put post pictures on my Facebook page, you're more than welcome to. There's a total of 3 of us that watch the page, so we'll make sure that if for some reason it doesn't post, send it to my email address, seangmorris@gmail.com. We will take that and we'll make sure that it gets onto the Facebook page and you get the recognition that you deserve, because it's amazing. You're going the right way. You're losing weight. It's so awesome. I'm so proud of you. It's like, oh, it's fantastic. So I've had a lot of people ask me, what my long-term goals are. And all I can basically tell them is, since I didn't have an official start weight, I knew I had one that was about 5 years before I started my weight loss journey. And what I've done is I knew I gained tons of weight after that. So I used the magic number. Now, I'm sure this is probably low, to be honest. And if you saw pictures of me, you would say, yeah, you're probably low, Sean, on the starting point. But I figure I started out somewhere between 575 and 600 pounds is where I started. I haven't jumped on a scale yet. What I'm doing is I am using basically mathematics and how much I've lost, because basically I've been kind of using the number of, from all the research that I can tell, because a lot of people will tell you, is like, okay, for every basically inch that you lose off your waistline, you're losing 8 pounds. That was the old way of thinking. Well, it's not that way anymore from all the research that I've done. Because when you lose weight, you don't just lose it off the midsection. You lose it off your legs, you lose it off your arms, off your face, your neck, every place. So basically the number that folks are using now is for every inch that you lose off your midsection, you're losing between 16 and 18 pounds on average for weight-wise. So I took just the middle. I went 17 pounds. I didn't want to overshoot. I'm not interested in, honestly, I'm not interested in the total amount of weight I've lost. I'm interested in the fat loss. And I didn't realize until I dove into this and I started doing some research on it, because like I said, I didn't prep this. You can ask any of my friends, you can ask my family, because they were all kind of like, you're what? And it's like, yep, I'm gonna do my own weight loss journey. I've had enough. I cannot stand to be this way anymore. So guess what? This is what I'm doing. So I didn't do any research. They asked me all kinds of questions. I go, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I've been trying to figure this out as I go. And I had people ask me, what is your ultimate weight loss? And I said, my ultimate goal is to at least lose over 300 pounds. That's what I'm hoping for. My ultimate target goal would be about 275 is what I'm hoping for. And from there, then I'll adjust. I just want to get myself down to that point. And then from there, then I'll adjust it and hopefully continue to lose. I basically, when I started, I just chose a number. I chose my pant size that I want to get down to, and I chose my shirt size in my head that I wanted to get down to. Now, normally I don't discuss this stuff, but I thought, you know what? Hey, if I'm asking you guys to post pictures and tell me about your weight loss, you guys probably want to know about mine. So here's the target numbers that I'm tentatively using. This is what I want to get down to. Like I said, I want to get down to about 275 pounds. Now, if you take that from 575 to 600 where I started, that's like two humans. It's like, holy smokes, can you actually lose that much? Yes, you can. And I'm on my way and on the road to actually doing that. And the other thing is my ultimate goal is to be down to a size 38 pants. Where I end up, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I'm getting older. I'm 49. And as you get older, you just naturally start to spread out. And you're not going to be as tight and wonderful as a 21-year-old. I just don't have, I'll be honest, I don't have the chutzpah to actually go to, and work out constantly and get the six-pack abs and the Vin Diesel arms. Sure, they look amazing and they look great on people. I don't know if I have that in me yet, but like I said, my whole journey is adjusting along the way. Like I told you, I said it's the journey. It's not the destination. It's the journey while you're getting there. And I know this has to be a lifelong deal. So there's no reason for me to try to take 300 pounds off overnight, because it didn't go on overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. And once I understood that and got that mindset in my head, everything else fell into place. I have had to adjust my weight loss journey as I go. And I keep calling it a weight loss journey because that's what it is. But what I didn't know, and I learned about this just recently, and I did some research on it, there's a difference between fat loss and weight loss. And I interchanged both of them constantly. And I thought they were the same thing. And it wasn't until I started digging into it and finding out that is two completely different things. I keep talking about weight loss, which is yeah, of course, you're going to want weight loss. But the tricky part to weight loss is weight loss can mean a couple different things. And yes, you want to take off weight, the bad weight, the fat, and everything else. But you have to be careful, because your weight loss can actually be a little misconceiving, because your weight loss can also include muscle building, and that you're actually going to gain on. It's going to slow your weight loss, your whole thing down. So what I have done recently, and after doing some research, is I'm more concerned now about fat loss. I'm still on a weight loss journey, don't get me wrong, and yes, I want to see those magic numbers once I get down to where I want to be, and I can't wait to step on the scale and take a picture of it and have proof of how much I had lost. But right now, and like I have been, and I didn't realize it, is I've been more concerned with fat loss. Because when I look in the mirror, I just looked just huge. I had flabby, fat hanging all over the place. It was just nasty to look at. And as I've been going through my journey, what I've been watching is my fat loss and not the weight loss. And it took me a little bit to figure out, okay, yeah, there is a difference. And being that, yes, I'm concerned about losing weight. And, just so you know, for over 3 decades, I put this weight on. I not only weight, but I also put fat. I lost muscle because I wasn't working out. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't doing what I needed to do to keep myself in check and basically keep myself healthy. So what I've had to figure out is yes, I started a weight loss journey, but I'm actually after the fat loss, and that's, around my stomach, of course, and, every place else that fat has built up, because as I've been going on, people say, wow, you're looking skinnier, you're looking thinner. Well, that's the fat actually being lost. Yes, I'm losing weight right now, but, I have the Musclevite, the supplement that I take, and what that does is it protects my muscles, because as you're losing weight, the body is naturally going to go after the muscles because it's easier to, basically process compared to the nasty fat that's hanging around in my midsection. So thank goodness for the manager and my friend down there at Supplement Warehouse. He told me about I need to protect my muscles as I'm going through this. I didn't start it right away. I didn't start it until probably 5 or 6 months into starting the supplements. I started out with just the CLA, and I used that as weight loss, and that's where I started. And then I worked in the Muscle Vite because now he says you're losing a lot of weight. So what we have to do is we need to protect your muscles so that way you don't lose them. You're already, let's be honest, you're not big, you're not bulked up, you're not anything like that. So to lose any more muscle was just not an option. So that's why I started the Muscle Vite, is to protect my muscles. And as I have been going through this, yes, I'm losing fat, and yes, I'm losing weight right now. But as I get closer to my goal, weight is going to be less of a concern, and fat is more of a concern. And I can see that I have already started to shift. I didn't know it, but I was starting to shift to watching more of the fat loss as I look in the mirror, and I can see things tightening up, and I still have days to where it hurts. And I just went through last week where I had 3 days where my ribs hurt, my muscles hurt, my joints hurt. I was going through the pain of losing weight because everything is coming in, everything is shrinking in, and it hurt. I mean, I spent 3 days where it was just like I just almost was in tears. It was bad. But I know it's worth it in the end because I'm losing weight. I can look in the mirror and I can visibly see, holy smokeronies, I'm losing lots and lots of weight. So that's why I take the Muscle Vite. And actually, my muscles have actually toned up because along with that there, I also take testosterone pills there, which also help basically get your body juiced back up again. And so without even having to work out, I can see a difference in my muscle mass. I can see that I've gained muscle mass. I've toned up a little bit. You can't see it through the midsection because I still have too much fat there to try to see them. But I'm gaining on it, and it's all helping me doing the getting rid of the weight. So I was trying to figure out, well, if I'm going down this road and now I'm going to kind of shift a little bit to the fat loss, why did I lose so much weight in the beginning? So there's actually 2 stages of weight loss that I've been able to figure out. And the first one is the rapid weight loss. And normally in the first couple months, you're going to see this because your weight loss basically comes from, the protein, the water, the carb stores, anything, and then the body fat. I mean, it's basically working out. The first 2 weeks is just basically water weight that you're getting out of your system, and that's why you got to drink so much water, is because you got to replenish that to protect your muscles and keep everything rocking and rolling. But for the first couple months, your rapid weight loss is crazy. Now, being that I'm doing such a massive weight loss, like I said, I'm doing over 300 pounds. My weight loss in the beginning was a lot more. It was probably the first 6 months. It was crazy the amount of weight that was coming off me. But my mind did not catch up. I mean, everybody was telling me, holy cow, you've lost a lot of weight. My pants fell off right away and stuff there. My shirts were fitting better. But the problem is I looked in the mirror and mentally, I could look in there and I could not see a difference. It took almost, I think, 15 months before my mind finally caught up, because it has a picture in its head of what I look like. Now, whether you actually look like that or not, that's another thing. And it is so infuriating to be beat down by your own mind, because I couldn't see the weight loss. It was driving me teetotal and crazy. So once I finally started to see it, I was noticing, yes, I was losing weight, and yes, I was losing lots and lots of fat. And that's stage 1, is the rapid weight loss. Stage 2 basically is where things slow down a little bit, and that's typically after the first couple months. And then after that, sometimes, which luckily I didn't. Some people will run into a plateau during that time because you shock the system so much. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, we don't like this. So it's going to do whatever it can to hang on to the fat stores that it has, because remember, it's responsible for keeping your primary systems up and running. Your heart, your lungs, your kidneys. It's got to have all that. That gets it first, like the brain. And I think, honestly, my brain is like 3rd or 4th down the line, because sometimes I just don't think it works. Memory doesn't always work. It's not, my recall isn't as fast as what it used to be. But that's common during weight loss, because you're not getting all the, all the the proteins, the vitamins, and all that stuff there to try to help keep everything going. I try to be very careful with that. But with the way I'm doing it and keeping myself restricted so far on calories and carbs and sugars and everything, it doesn't take much to throw the body off, where if I miss something or I cut a little too short, like on my suppers or something, man, I can feel it the next day. It's like, okay, this isn't working. But your slow weight loss typically will happen after that. And then that's where you have to fall in love with the grind. And you're going to have to understand that this is going to take time. You didn't put the weight on overnight. I don't know of anybody that puts 300 pounds on overnight that I'm aware of. If you did, please tell me. I want to know, because it's like, okay, I want to know somebody amazing. But it's going to take time, and that's the thing that I struggled with the most, probably the mental aspect of all this, and just learning that this is going to take time. So I went trying to figure out, okay, I've lost all this weight. It's not making any sense, because I started off fast, which I knew from previous diets. We don't like that word, but diets in the past, I knew that the beginning is always really, really quick. You always lose a ton. But the part where most people there end up, running into trouble and chucking the whole system out the window is stage 2, when things slow down, because your body adapts, your mind adapts, and sometimes, let's be honest, you're a couple months into it by this time, and you're kind of tired of the restrictive diets. Stress has catched up to you. You may, stress eat. I mean, that's huge for me. Stress eating is huge. It's taken me a long time to get past that, and I still have days where if the stress is high, that's all I want. But one thing that I've learned is the more carbs that I eat, the worse I feel. And I don't have to do it very often, and I don't have to have a lot of extra carbs. And I never thought I would ever get to this point. But the moment that I start getting a little heavy on carbs, I just feel just yuck. I feel weighed down. I don't feel good. I honestly thought people were so full of hooey when they told me that. It's like, how can you not? I mean, I can have 17 double cheeseburgers and large fries, and, I can have a 12-pack of Mountain Dew, and then I can go have some cookies and brownies and everything else. And the thought of that right now, it almost makes me want to just, oh boy, this isn't going to work. So you do get to that point to where things will slow down. Now, granted, some of you are going for the nice toned and muscular body, and that's fantastic. Whatever your end goals are, that's you. That's wherever you want to get to, and I commend you for getting to that point. I personally know I'm not going to have a body like that, just mainly because my joints won't allow me to do a ton of it, working out and stuff. And I'm getting older. It's kind of like I just want to thin down. That's my ultimate goal. That's basically my only goal, is to thin down and be happy with myself. So when I look in the mirror, I'm not going, bleh. Okay, I don't like what I see in the mirror, but my goal is to get to that point. And for me, that point is just getting skinny, and it doesn't have to be skinny. I just got to get my weight down to where when I'm not walking down the road and stuff, there you don't hear boom, 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 because I'm so overweight. And that's where I'm getting myself to. And knowing that I'm down 5 pant sizes is such an incredible motivator. I mean, it's like, holy cow, I didn't think it was possible, and yet here I am. And yes, there's some sacrifices, and yes, I had to do a major change in my life to make this happen, but to me, it's well worth it. And I honestly thought I would never ever say those words. I heard people tell me when they were going through their own diets and weight loss journeys and stuff there, they would tell me that, and I would just get, it's like, oh, stop lying to yourself, stop lying to me. Just tell me the truth. And unfortunately, they were telling me the truth. I just was too close-minded to accept everything that they're going through. So, trying to figure out, okay, all right, now I know that I'm losing weight, and I know that it's going down, and I know I'm losing fat. So what I'm trying to watch now, and I'll be honest, is the fat loss. That's kind of where I'm watching now, where to head to now, because between the fat loss and making sure I maintain the muscle mass that I have now, and like I said, that muscle vite is amazing. It has actually increased my muscles. I've actually seen my arms tone up, and I never thought I'd ever see that. And I've put on some muscle, and I haven't even really worked out, but just being busy out in the yard, taken hikes and different things, I've actually toned up, and it's like, holy smokeronies, where did this come from? It's like, I'm not even accustomed to this. So things are happening naturally, but just remember, it's going to take time. And like I said, I'm 19 months into my weight loss journey, and there's nothing saying that I can't do this the rest of my life. I've made my mind up to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm happy with myself, and I'm gonna get to the finish line. So now that I know that fat loss is a healthier goal than weight loss, and because remember, weight loss may include the loss of water, which that's one of the rapid things that you see right away, and muscle loss. Keep in mind that's the huge difference. Fat loss is just fat loss. Once that's gone, you're not out anything. You're gaining. It's awesome. That's exactly what you're going for. And remember, weight loss is a totally different thing. I honestly interchanged them, and I have to admit, I didn't know the difference, and it kind of shocked me because it was like, okay, well, I thought they were the same thing. And then actually, once I started diving into it a little bit more, it was kind of like, wow, this is amazing. It was like, I didn't have any other words. It was like, especially when I put those pants on, I was like, holy smokes. So, but remember, if I can stress anything, really, remember to do this for yourself. And it's always nice to look nice, and you put on those skin tight clothes or whatever you want to wear. Just remember, you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing it for somebody else, because you're the one that's got to live in your body. You're the one that's got to be happy with yourself when you look in the mirror. Just make sure you're doing it for yourself, and you're not motivated to do it for somebody else, because if you lose that person, then what happens? What are you going to do? You're going to eat your way back up to where you were because you just did it for them. Make sure you're doing it for yourself. And that's one thing that I learned right away is I have to do this for myself. I have to make me happy, because if I can't make me happy, then I can't make anybody else happy. So some of the things that I've done, and we've covered this in other podcasts, but I just want to let you know that these are the ways that I'm doing it. The ways that there's great ways of basically burning fat and not just weight loss, because that's two different things, remember. And like I said, it's taken me a little bit of time to accept this and try to use the terminology correct. I'm not going to lie about that, because like I said, I thought they were the same thing, and they're not. So some of the things that you can do basically to get the fat down, and there's a lot of tips here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through one by one, and it's up to you whether you want to do these or not. But I'm hoping that since you're listening to this podcast, you're actually going down your own weight loss journey, or you're considering going down your own weight loss journey. So the first thing that you can do, and I started this, is strength training. Now, I did start this about 4 months, about 4 to 4.5 months into my weight loss journey. What I found out is when I did strength training, it took a lot of extra calories, which that's what it's supposed to do, but it was also burning fat. But the problem is my body didn't have enough of the carbs and sugars and everything else to replenish my body, because I was so restrictive on what I was eating and my caloric intake that I was running into trouble where I was bottoming out so bad that I couldn't function. So, and I was so afraid that if I raised my caloric intake, because at the time I was only taking in 1,200 calories a day, which is, basically you never ever go below that. I mean, that is the absolute bare bottom minimum number that you can go. You go any lower than that, then you risk, basically shutting down organs and stuff. There's just not enough there. And then I started working out, and it dropped me way too low. I had a hard time sleeping, had a hard time eating, had a hard time everything. And I was so afraid, because like I said, losing this kind of weight, any kind of weight, is more mental than it is physical. And what I was so afraid of was that if I raised my caloric intake, that I was going to chuck the whole system right out the window, and my journey would have been over before it got started. So I didn't do the strength training, and I'm actually thinking about working it back into it, because I've raised my caloric intake from 1,200 to 1,700. I've hovered between 1,700 and 1,800 calories per day. And like I figured out before, I should be somewhere right around 3,200. Now, I'm sure that number is going to come down. I haven't redone the numbers to find out where I should be at now, because I've lost weight. But all I know is if I hover in there between 17 and once in a while, I do have to bump it up a couple 300 calories on certain days. And Wednesdays seem to be the big day for me because it's like midpoint of the week, because I'm eating healthy all the way through. On the weekends, I shift down typically just to 2 meals instead of 3 meals. I'll have breakfast and I'll have supper. I don't typically have dinner at that point, mainly because I'm so busy and I'm not really hungry. And right now that we're going through summer, it is so hard to eat, but I know that I have to eat. But by the time I get to supper, I am starving to death at that point. So I eat, twice a day and stuff. And then I watch my caloric intake on what I'm having, but I stick to tons and tons and tons and tons of protein. You should see my freezer. That's about all that's in there is just fish and meat. And of course, there's more meat than fish because we all know that I'm not a huge fish fan. I'm trying to get there, and my son is doing a fantastic job trying to get me there, but I'm not there yet. But I do like the way he does up some of the fish and stuff. Has turned out really good, and I have to say I am slowly changing my mind. But strength training is one great way for burning fat. It's a fantastic way. It'll help your strength. It'll help your endurance. It helps the joints. You can do that with lifting weights. You can do squats, push-ups, planks. You can do the resistance bands like what I use, so it's easy on the joints. Just anything like that, and that's going to burn the fat more than weights, because what you're going to do is you're going to build muscle during that, and that in turn is going to burn more fat. And that's ultimately what you're going after. You want to go after the fat because that's what you're seeing, and it's like, ick, I don't want that anymore. I mean, I could say other words, but this is a family podcast, and I can't say those words here. So, but when I look in the mirror and it's like, ugh, yeah, okay, I need to get rid of the fat, and that's where I am. And I've come a long ways for getting the fat off my body and not the weight. Weight is a totally different thing. Another way is to eat more protein, and I got to be honest, most of my diet is 90% protein. That's about all I eat. Yes, I have some carbs, and I get in trouble with my family and my son all the time about making sure that I eat enough carbs, because I'll bottom out real easy because I keep myself so restricted back that it doesn't take much to throw the system off. But protein is, to me, is my best friend. You can, if you're vegan, good sources of plant-based protein are like lentils, chickpeas, tofu. Those are good ways to basically, if you need to bounce up your protein, where if you're not going to have hamburger or steak or cheesy brats like what I like, then that's another way to do it. You just want to keep your protein as high as possible, because protein takes longer to run through the system to digest and everything, and your body's going to have to burn more calories to get that to process through. That's why it's so good to have protein go through your system, is because it takes longer, it's harder to digest, your body has to work at it, it's going to naturally basically burn more calories. And that's why I have my most 90% of my diet is protein. That's about all I eat, and I feel better. I can tell when I don't have enough protein. When I start running low, I can tell immediately how I just feel sluggish. I can't think, I can't move, I can't function. And I have to be really careful because my body has gotten so used to the protein intake, and since my whole weight loss journey is built on that, I have to make sure that I bring, basically eat enough to keep myself going. And when I don't, oh my goodness sakes, I can feel a monstrous difference on, okay, this isn't working. So then I go in, and that's why I said I normally have like cheese sticks or cheese, or beef sticks, cheese, cheesy brats in the fridge there. They're always ready to go. So all I got to do is just warm them up, or just eat them the way it is, and it helps. And basically, that's my jolt, that's my energy anymore to keep myself going, instead of going for the cookies and the brownies and my lemon meringue pie that I still adore and still love. Instead of going for those quick sugar where it skyrockets in your body and then plummets within about 5 minutes, I go after the meat, the seafood, the eggs, the cheeses, anything like that there that's loaded in protein. Like Saturday mornings and stuff there, my son works on Saturdays, so it's by me. So typically I'll have like 5 eggs, I'll have like 3 cheesy brats, and I'll have a little bit of toast. So I have some carbs, like I'll have like a piece of toast, just something to basically say, okay, yes, there's some carbs that are coming into the body, and that's my breakfast. Sometimes I'll have as many as 3 cheesy brats because that's 600 calories and the eggs are 35 calories each. So all in all, I'm taking in about 800 calories, but I can eat a little bit more because I don't have lunch. I basically pole vault over that and I go to supper, and then that's like smash burgers or chimichangas or something like that there, where, or just a good old fashioned cheeseburger. I mean, as long as it's burger and cheese, that's all protein. That's all what you're going for. So you can have that, and that helps get through. And that's why we use that griddle. I gotta be honest, that Blackstone that we have, holy smokeronies, that's been the best investment that I think I've ever bought. That has really helped us out. We make this incredible I know I'm off track, I know, go ahead and laugh at me. We make this incredible breakfast hash now, and we take like 6 little now I lost hash browns, and then we'll put in like ham bits. I'll use Italian sausage, and then we mix up, I think it's like 8 eggs. We scramble them up and we put it on there, and then we have half to 3/4 of a bag of whatever flavor shredded cheese you have, and you mix all that together up on the griddle, and I think it takes them 10-12 minutes tops. That's it, and it's all done. It's amazing how fast it all cooks up. We've been known to put chicken in there before. We'll put bigger ham chunks in there. We put steak in it. It's amazing because basically it's all pretty much protein, and it's fantastic because I'll use that for like sides when I go to work, because I bring my lunch every day. I don't go out to eat or anything like that. So, but what I do is I make up my lunches. That way I can control the amount of calories that I'm taking, the amount of protein that I'm taking, making sure that I'm not overloading on carbs, not overloading on sugars, anything like that. Anything fast food and stuff, they're gonna be heavier, and they're gonna be harder on you, and it's gonna be harder to control those numbers. So I try to stay away from it. I'm not saying there's anything bad with them, but to me, I just can't have them because there's too many calories, there's too many carbs, and it's just not good for me. So I make sure that I bring my lunch every day, and so on Sundays we always make up a huge amount of, like this past Sunday, made up a bunch of steak, and we made up that hash and stuff there on the side there, and I've had that for the last 2 days. Now the next couple days I'll have cheesy brats and some sort of side to go with it. I've been known to have salads and things, but anything protein wise, that's where you're going for. That's going to help you burn the fat. And remember, that's what you're going after. Because like I said, I always said, wait. Well, now that I've learned this, it's like, okay, yeah, yes, you have to watch your weight, and you want to lose weight, but you're more important. You need to be more focused on the fat, which I learned, which is pretty cool. And I didn't realize I was so much there until I started reading up on it. And like I said, I'm learning as I go, folks, just as much as you guys are. I'm going down this road with you guys as you're going down your own weight loss journey. I'm learning. I'm going through the journey, losing the weight and everything else myself too. Another way to make sure that you help burn more fat, off your body and stuff there, is get 8 hours of sleep every night. Lack of sleep can actually, when you may have more drinks, energy drinks to help keep you going. You may eat more because you're doing it basically because you're trying to keep yourself from falling asleep. It's just anytime that you don't get enough sleep, that's actually a bad thing. And me, I struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I've told you that in other podcasts. I struggle to get enough sleep. I just, some nights there, I may only operate on 3-4 hours the next day. Sometimes I get lucky and I get 6 in. I rarely ever get 8 hours in. Like I said, I have a little puppy here that needs to go out all the time, but if I can get lucky, normally I can get 4 hours solid straight, but they recommend 8. And I notice that when I sleep more and get more sleep, I eat less, and they are right. All the researchers and the scientists, darn them, but they actually recommend 8 hours of sleep, and they're right. So that's one thing that you want to do to try to keep yourself, burning the fat and running with it. It'll just help you. Increase your soluble fiber intake. That's a huge thing there. It helps absorb water, which forms basically a gel inside you, and that will slow down everything through your digestive system, and that is going to help you feel fuller longer. And that's one thing that I try to do is, like, some of my, once in a while I have snacks and stuff there. I try to make sure that it's high in fiber because it helps fill you up a little bit more when I want to offset from the protein. To me, that has been a huge thing is fiber has really, really helped. if you want to burn more fat, off of your system, remember, that's what we're going for here. Cut down on the sugar. And I know I just heard you groan. And I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, like I said, I just pole vaulted right off the cliff and I shut down all sugar. I knew I had to have a little bit, so I made sure that I had just very, very little to get through. And holy smokes, trying to get through those withdrawals for the first month was just agony. But trust me, once you finally get on the other side of those withdrawals and they go down and the cravings and everything there, it makes it so much better. I never thought, and I'll be honest, and my family is still in shock, I think, from this. When I said there that I eat probably 95% less chocolate per day than I used to. And not in a million years did I ever think that, because I'll be honest, during Christmas time, they had those chocolate covered cherries. I would eat somewhere between 12 and 15 boxes minimum per season. And I didn't even look. It was terrifying last year when I picked up a box to see how many calories were in there. It broke my heart, as I honestly don't even remember what the number is because it was so staggering. And then I was thinking there's 12 cherries per box, and if I was eating 12 to 15 boxes, okay, my head has now exploded because we're somewhere in the range of 150 to 170 of those chocolate covered cherries. And I think they were somewhere in the range of like 70 calories each. And I'm sitting here and all of a sudden the calculator, I think, blew up. My mind blew up and it was like, holy smokes. And I mean, during the holidays, it's not just those. I mean, you had cookies, you had brownies, you had cakes, you had all kinds of, up here in the Midwest and stuff there, we make hard candies. We had Divinity, we had peanut brittle, we had all kinds of things. And all of that stuff is nothing but pure sugar. And I was just taking in all those calories, and because I didn't, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I didn't care. I was so fat and overweight, and I thought, you know what, I can go online, and there's some wonderful companies out there that make bigger clothing. I'll just buy bigger clothing and, just not worry about it. Well, sooner or later that does catch up to you, and now I'm trying to get it off, and I am making progress. So cutting down on the sugar is another great way of, getting the fat off of your body. Another one, I know you're going to groan, start your day with exercise. Do whatever you can. That's why when in the mornings, I always load up with protein. And in the morning, I start my day about 2.5 hours before I have to go to work, because I spend 20 to 30 minutes every day playing with Willow, tug of war, throwing things, running around, walking around outside, whatever it takes to get going, and whatever you want to do to exercise. After you have your breakfast is the best way to do it. Give yourself some of that energy, so that way you're not doing it on an empty stomach. It's easier on you. Have the eggs, have porridge, have yogurts, whatever it is. Just watch the sugar intake with it. But for me, that's why I like having the eggs and the cheesy broths and everything, because it's just loaded up with protein, and that's what helps get me through. And then I don't snack as much throughout the day. It's not the best way to me, it's the best way to do it. It may not be the best way for you, but for me, that's how I pull myself through. So I am not, basically running to, in my desk, I have little snacks and stuff. They're all healthy snacks, but I do have one in there that is a sugar-based one. But I found there that sometimes, like I said, for some reason, Wednesdays are kind of like the magic number for me. It's like my body kind of just bottoms out and I just feel horrible. So I have to find a way to get my sugar intake up and my protein intake up a little bit. And I just be careful, because sometimes just as much as 100 or 200 calories is enough to move it. I don't go and I don't chuck my whole plan right out the window. I don't do that. I'm very, very careful when I have to raise it just for the day or whatever to get myself through. Then I'm really, really careful that I don't overkill with the carbs and the calories. So starting your day with exercise is a great way. I do it every morning. They say that you can lose up to 20% more fat exercising. I mean, it's amazing the numbers that you can do. And yes, I know in the morning we're busy. I'm not arguing that point. And there's so many people. I'm lucky because I don't have kids anymore to get ready for, in the morning and stuff, and get them shooshed out for school or to daycare or whatever. And I know there's a lot going on. I'm not arguing that point, but exercise doesn't have to be that much. It can be something as riding a bike for 10, 15 minutes. Any kind of exercise going forward is going to help you. That's what every little bit helps. Let's just say that, okay? That's pretty much the way I do it, and that's the way I've looked at it, and I'm getting results. So there's got to be some sort of, something behind it that works. Another thing that I did, and this helps me out huge, I eat more slowly, and I've reduced my portion sizes. And to fool myself in the beginning, I used smaller plates. I know that seems funny, and you're thinking, Sean, all right, this doesn't work. Apparently you need some protein because you are not making sense. But contrary to everybody else saying it, it actually makes a huge difference, because if you see a full plate, you're mentally going to be, okay, I'm fuller. But if you take your normal big plates and only fill it halfway up, you're going to feel like you're starving. And that's what I felt like constantly. And it's like, oh, I want more, I'm starving. But when I started using smaller bowls and smaller plates, my portion sizes went down. It made a huge difference. And like I said, it's all mental. You're going to fight more mental than you're ever going to fight in physical on this end, because between depression and stress and everything else, it all plays a factor into your weight loss journey. And once you're gonna, like I said, once in a while, you are going to fall off the horse. And don't get mad at yourself. Don't chuck the whole system out there. Be gentle on yourself. You have to realize every day something's different. There's new stresses, there's new work, there's new things that got to be done. There's new things that you've got to process. You got to push through. You got to get done. There's so much. So be easy on yourself. This is not easy. This is a very, very, very tough road that you're heading down. And every day there's something new that you've got to tackle. So just be gentle on yourself and give yourself a break once in a while. It's okay, so eat more slowly, give yourself, maybe find some sugar-free snacks or whatever it is, or if that's going to help you through, if you don't want to change your plate sizes or whatever it takes. Just, you have to play around and do different things until you find a way of doing the program, or whatever you want to call this, your weight loss journey, so you can live with it and you're happy with yourself and you're okay. Because remember, this has to go on for the rest of your life if you want to maintain these numbers. So you have to find a way of doing things that you're comfortable with and you're okay and you can get yourself through the day with. And that's what I had to do. I had to do a lot of adjusting in the beginning to find out, okay, well, I know at 9:30 that I get the munchies, or I start to be a little bit hungry or whatever. So I know that I have to plan ahead to have good snacks that I can have to help me get through to lunch. Now, normally in the afternoon, I really don't have a lot there, but the mornings for me are a little bit tougher because I go about 6.5 hours without eating is what it is. So at the halfway point, I just have a little bit just to basically help push me over to when I go to lunch. So those are all the little things. And remember, you're going to be learning as you go, like I'm doing. I'm learning all the time on this stuff. I'm sharing the knowledge that I'm learning, my research, and everything there. I'm sharing all that with you in the hopes that this is going to be helpful to you. But when all's said and done, at the end of the day, be proud of all you've accomplished and how far you have come. It is amazing. This is what you're doing is incredible. It is so difficult. And going down a weight loss journey, most of the time you're doing it solo, you're doing it alone. That's why I'm hoping these podcasts will let you know I'm right there with you. I'm sitting there at the table with you. I'm sitting there in the car while you're stressing out or whatever it is. And if you need something or you have a question, make sure you email me at seangmorris@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. I'll help where I can. But just make sure, this is a long road. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And once you start understanding that and you've accepted it, that makes this so much easier, because it wasn't until I accepted it that it was like, okay, I can do this. But it didn't happen overnight. This isn't something where I just woke up and said, yep, okay, I've accepted it. Merry Christmas. I jumped off the cliff and made changes, but it wasn't until probably 3 or 4 months down the road when I finally accepted it and said, okay, I've got past the cravings. I got past everything, all the bad stuff. I've worked out all the bad stuff out of my system. And now I'm making ground. I can feel in my clothes and stuff there. I can see that I've made a difference. Things are going the right way. That's when I started to realize, okay, I have accepted this. This is my new way. This is the new way of doing things. This is the new me. And it made it so much easier, but it does not happen overnight. Make sure you celebrate all the little wins along the way, and don't be too hard on yourself. Cut yourself a break. This is very difficult, and like I said, most of us are going through this solo, so it's just like, okay, sometimes you just need a little bit of motivation. You just need a little, basically any kind of help that along the way, you know. That's what I'm hoping that these podcasts do for you, along with the information that I can bring to you. You basically utilize whatever you want to out of these podcasts, whatever helps you get through it. And that's all I can hope for, is let you know that I'm with you every step of the way. I'm walking along with you because I'm going through this journey myself, and I'm learning things as I go, and that's why I'm sharing all of this stuff. So I'm hoping that somewhere in all these episodes that it's going to work out for you. Just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The weight did not go on overnight. It is not going to come off overnight. It's going to take a little while, and just remember, fall in love with the grind and make the changes that you can live with, that will allow you to lose weight and keep you on track for your weight loss journey. Once you get that set into place, it's going to work. And then just remember, you're going to have to adjust along the way. You're going to have to put the work in to get the weight off, to get the fat off of your body. You're going to have to, I know it stinks and I didn't like it either, but you're just going to have to put the work in to make it happen. So I'm noticing at the time on my screen here and stuff, there is saying here, oh, guess what? You're out of time. And oh, guess what? What's popping up now there? Oh my goodness, the dad joke of the day. Like I told you at the beginning, I'm not going to let you get away without having a dad joke of the day, because I want you to smile at the end of this podcast, and hopefully it'll put you in a good mood and make you giggle a little bit. So if you're ready to go, here's the dad joke of the day. Do you know what you call a happy cowboy? A Jolly Rancher. I love that one, and it made me instantly hungry for the candy. Jolly Ranchers. It was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh my goodness. That got me all over the place. So thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you share, you like, you comment on the pages. Let everybody know that you like the podcast here. I can't ask for any more than that. And as always, all my love and support, Sean.